welcome back to Sports on Tap. This is Ed Dick, Sean Duffy.
Sure is.
Josh Jeffy, and Rob Trautman. We are live at Z's Cream and Bean.
Wow.
2706 Boston Road in Hinckley, Ohio. It does border 4 cities.
Sure does.
Yes, it does.
It borders Brunswick, Strongsville, Hinckley, and North Royalton. We are part of the NEO Sports Insiders Network. You can catch our podcast on www.neosportsinsiders.com. Catch us on Facebook at SOT Podcast. We're also on Mixlr, streaming
We're
live on
right
Mixlr.
now.
Live right now, yeah.
Live on Mixlr. You also subscribe to us on iTunes, and we're also on the thing they call Twitter, which
And
is
YouTube.
And YouTube, yeah.
And
All over
YouTube,
we're
which
all
is
over the place. Let's
completely,
put it that way.
completely unbeknownst to me. Anyways, we do have some special guests. We did have in our previous segment we had the Berea Mid Park wrestling team on. We now have the 2016 Greater Cleveland Conference Boys Soccer champion, the Brunswick Blue Devils. We have head coach Ben Dotson, the goalkeeper Gavin Leindecker, and forward Nick Felician. Guys, Thank you very much for joining us tonight. How you guys doing tonight?
Good. Thanks for having us on, and it's great to be back again.
Yes,
Yeah,
this is Coach
appreciate
Dotson's second time on the show, I believe.
Is it second or third?
Second or third.
Friend-
Third time.
Friend
Yeah,
of
I'm
show
an idiot.
status? Or?
Friend of
He is
show.
definitely
Friend of show
friend
status. I like it.
No doubt about it. Well, we didn't want to mess your mojo up by getting you on before the
Yeah.
season. So I mean, because of that, I think that's the sole reason you won a conference championship this year.
Because
We
he
didn't
wasn't
talk-
on our show?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Reverse psychology.
All right.
So we just have
psychology.
him on at the end of the year every year
Yeah.
from
Yes.
now on, I guess.
If we keep winning conference championships, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, you guys were kind of good this year. I mean, 13-1-4, 6-0-1 in conference. Wow. I mean, that's
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
Yeah, congratulations, guys. Why don't you go talk a little bit about your guys' season? Kind of how it started and what happened when you guys got into conference play.
We actually had kind of a rough start. Our first 2 games, we were 0-2 with 2 ties. Looking back on the season now, that opening game was against Massillon and Jackson. They ended up finishing in the regional final, losing barely to St. Ignatius. So it wasn't that bad of a tie, but we just didn't feel like we played well. Shortly thereafter, we made a couple changes, and we went on, an 8-game run where we didn't let up a goal. In the first 17 games of the season, we were never trailing. We were never behind. And, we hit conference play with a huge opening win over Strongsville. And then we went off and beat Solon, and then we got on a roll from there and ended up with a great draw against Medina to clinch it outright late in October. So it was a pretty good season for us.
Now, how did you guys turn things around after those 2 ties? Because I think you rattled off, 12 or 13 straight wins in a row after that. You guys got on a little bit of a roll. What changed from the 2 ties to all those wins in a row? Did you see something in particular there?
In those first 2 games, we let up 4 goals, and we made a major change. We moved one of our best offensive players, Ben Klaus, to the back.
Okay.
And after that, we let up 5 goals the rest of the season.
Wow.
So, Ben he finished the season as the highest-rated defender in Greater Akron. He was first team all Greater Akron. A 6'3" guy that probably should be playing linebacker makes a big difference back there.
Absolutely, and plus you have a 4-year starter as a goalkeeper. Certainly never helps either. Gavin, how did the season kind of change for you guys? At least from your perspective, we just seen a lot less shots, or what happened on your end?
Yeah, once Ben moved back there, it was a brick wall. Like nobody could go past him. I saw 2 shots per game, and he basically saved me so many times. There could have been games where I got scored on, and they went by me, and Klaus was there to stop it every single time.
Mm-hmm. And Nick, from your end of the spectrum, as one of the forwards, how did the season go for you personally, and then how did that fit within the framework of the team?
I think we did quite good offensively. We did really good, actually. We moved the ball up and around as we wanted it, up back through. We played well. We put goals in the back of the net like we do, and just like to get on the score sheet first.
Now, looking back over the season, obviously a big accomplishment winning the conference there, but what was probably your toughest game that you guys went through? It could have been non-conference or even within the conference that you kind of point to as maybe a galvanizing moment. I know Rob talked about early in the season, but was there a game or a particular maybe half that you guys found that kind of righted the ship a little bit?
I wouldn't even say righted the ship, but we kind of peaked when we played Shaker Heights. In my 4 years here, we have never beaten Shaker Heights.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, they were ranked number 3 in the state. They came in, they had not lost in the conference. They were coming off a win where they had just beaten Medina 1-0, and they came into our house and it was 0-0 at halftime, and we were playing unbelievably well. And up until that point, they had given up 2 goals. And then in the span of 8 minutes, we scored a goal, they tied it up, and then we scored again right away. And that night right there clinched the conference for us, at least a share of it.
Yeah.
And it was an unbelievable game, and that vaulted us to number 4 in the state rankings. So it was that was definitely one of the top games of the season.
How about you guys?
I definitely thought Shaker also, because everyone played well on the team, everyone as a group, and everyone individual. Everyone did their role. They dropped me back to center defensive mid for some tactical changes, defensive purposes, and getting in tackles early.
I think the game that changed our season was when I got hurt against Kenston. I sprained my MCL early in the game, and a player that starts for us at midfield had to sub in for me, Corey Gilbert. We were without me for 5-6 games during the season, and our team really didn't give up at that point, losing me, and we still pushed through all the adversities and everything and fought through all of it.
And you mentioned that with you, Coach, you asking some of these guys to make some to make some adjustments, and you went back from forward to a center defensive mid, which is obviously extremely different from playing forward. Then you had Ben Klaus going from a goal scoring position back to being defender. Is that just something that you felt comfortable with, and that these guys would take to, or was it just something that you kind of had to be like, oh, I'm not sure I want to do this because of how they felt about it, or anything to that effect?
A lot of that goes down to senior leadership, and we had a great group of captains. And they kind of set the tone for the rest of the group. So everybody played pretty unselfishly. We had a guy against Shaker who had started the whole season, Jake Hoffmaster, and I made a tactical change when I moved Nick back, and the kid who we put in for him ended up scoring the game-tying goal. So they bought into what we were trying to do, and I think it's pretty selfless on their part, to achieve what we achieved with that selfless attitude.
And as players, how does that translate to you guys as players?
I'm fine with it, because as long as I'm on the field, helping the team win or improving, getting better as a team, doesn't affect me at all.
Have you played center defensive mid in your past, or is that something that coaches is like, hey, I need you to do this, can you do it?
Yeah, I played center defensive mid in my past. I used to play there when I was younger, but then I got moved up because I like to score goals. So, yeah.
You're not going to meet too many guys that don't like scoring goals.
Yeah.
Myself and Coach over here had many a battle scoring goals against each other way back in the day.
Who won that battle?
It was about even.
Coach is shaking his head over here.
Never even.
I was a little bit more of a power player. Coach was a little more skillful.
Good.
Much more skillful.
There's a reason that he coaches field goal kickers.
Yes.
Wow. Oof. The gloves are off.
Well, I'm not going to dispute anything he says. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Absolutely not. Hey, you got?
No, go ahead.
And for Nick and Gavin, you guys have been in the program for quite a while. Gavin, you're going to be a graduating senior, and Nick, you'll be taking over as a senior. How is the how have things changed for you guys since you guys started as freshmen and moving to where you guys are now, just from not only a soccer standpoint, just from a leadership standpoint?
My freshman year, I was scared coming in because I really didn't know too much about the program, didn't really know that many people in the program, and over my years, we've got to know everybody, and with like the youth groups and everything with the travel program, everybody knows everybody. Every freshman coming in, you know them. You have a relationship with every single one of them, and it just builds farther and farther each and every year. It's like we're a family.
My freshman year, I was really scared, actually, because I moved here in 6th grade, so I barely knew anybody. But as I made varsity as a freshman, and as we came along as a team, we came really close, and I realized how much I love these guys and how close we are. So it got better as the days went along.
Yeah, and even you, especially you, Gavin. I mean, you're first team All Ohio in this year. And for you to have that mindset of, I'm no different than anybody else. Me and the freshmen, we need to get along. We need to make sure that you have to pull them along and make sure that they're part of the program. And that's a very, very important part of really any program in any sport, for that matter. So that's a major commitment that you guys have. Making sure the young guys are getting involved. Correct?
It's everybody matters in the program. All 57 guys that we had this year pushed everybody day in through day out, and it made us better every single day.
We love every kid in the program, from the worst, not the worst player, but like bottom players to the top. So they're just all good kids, and we love them.
And Coach, 57 players. And correct me if I'm wrong. That just seems like a lot. You guys were able to field a full JVB team this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the program's grown quite a bit. When I came in my first year 7 years ago, when Bruce Miller was still the head coach, we had 28 guys total. And for us to try to compete with Medina to the south and Strongsville to the north, when they're churning out 80 kids, it's just not going to happen. So over the last couple of years, me and my staff and the kids have really gone into the youth program, made playing soccer cool in this community, and the dividends show when you're bringing out 57 guys. It's huge, because then you're not playing a sophomore against a senior who's 18 and 220 pounds. You're playing 11 seniors, and it just makes a big difference on the field.
Now, Coach, do you think winning the conference this year and getting over that hump, you think that'll even elevate that turnout for participation in the next couple years or in the distant future?
We certainly hope so. Conference championships are rare. We've only had 3 in 33 years, and the last one was a shared conference title, and the one before that was 1999. The conference that we play in is 3 teams that were ranked in the top 10 in the state. So it's a pretty big deal. So soccer's growing and growing. So we're hoping that does turn some more kids into the program.
And with your youth program, what's been the big difference there? You said your guys are getting out, making it fun for everyone. Where does it start? I know a lot of these guys probably played when I remember when a lot of kids that I knew played in elementary school. There was a soccer field right there, and everybody wanted to play. How do you keep them interested as they continue to develop and keep the parents wanting to make the kids play?
So I kind of have a dual role. I'm also the director of coaching for the city of Brunswick for boys.
Okay.
About 5 years ago, we started a new program where we start the kids at 3 years old. We follow U.S. Soccer's developmental guidelines, and every guy on my staff takes an age group, and they coach those kids, and we pass them along to each other. Like my JV coach starts at 7 and 8, and then my varsity assistant does 9s and 10s, and then another coach does 11s and 12s. And when they're 13s and 14s, they come to me right before they go to high school. And it seems to make sure that, 1, kids stay very much vested in Brunswick soccer, and 2, we don't lose kids to parochial schools anymore. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. And that's a major part of a lot of sports, and especially us on the outskirts. Right around this area. Paddle was always a powerhouse, and even further up north when you get to the Ignatiuses and the Edges and whatnot. So, being able to keep Brunswick kids in Brunswick is a major part of it. Have there been guys in your guys' class that have played at other schools, or has everyone pretty much stayed in Brunswick?
Everyone in my grade stayed in Brunswick. I think there's some younger guys that went to Ignatius, but it was just because of club teams that they played for. Those kids influenced them because those kids on their club team went to that school or something. But nobody in my grade that went to private schools.
Yeah, I don't think anyone in my grade did either. Like Gavin said, I think they just went to different schools because of the club, but I don't think anybody in my grade did.
What I've always wondered is, once the season is over, how do you guys transition to an indoor season, or is that more of a club type of situation?
So we're not allowed to do a lot by high school regulations. I can only coach 4 kids at a time legally. So what we do is we play a little bit of futsal, just as a way to bring freshmen into the program. We do it on Sunday mornings starting in January. And I don't do anything. I just show up and turn the lights on and they play. But it's just another way for the freshmen to get comfortable with the seniors, juniors, and sophomores coming in. And then we do a lot of weightlifting. We have a tremendous strength and conditioning coach in Travis Lambardozzi, who's a teacher at Brunswick High School. And I'm a firm believer in time off. Our kids play 75 games a year when they play club. So for us to try to do too much, it isn't very healthy for them. So we don't do a lot other than get together, have some fun, and make sure that we're physically fit when we come into the season.
Now for Gavin and you, do you guys do indoor club teams, or is that something that you guys do to keep training constantly?
Yeah, usually once the high school season ends, like this year, the high school season ended, and I had club practice that Sunday.
Okay.
Like right after the season ended, and it's 2 or 3 practices a week. It's not grueling like 5 practices a week like
Right.
high school is, and games on the weekends and some days. But it's like every other weekend we have games and practices every week, Tuesday, Thursday. It just depends on who you play for and when you play.
We don't do indoor actually. We travel like around the world and we do college showcases. Like we're going to Kentucky, so we don't really do indoor.
What club do you play for, Nick?
AK Cleveland Elite.
Okay, and I can see who you play for, but who do you play for?
Cleveland FC.
Very nice. Coach, do you have when it comes to club ball, do you really get involved in that aspect, as in like who a player should play for, or does it not matter to you?
As long as the boys are getting good training, we don't. I mean, again, I don't really tell them where to go. If they ask my suggestions, I give them a list of coaches that we would recommend who give them quality training, because that's what we're after anyways.
Yes, absolutely. Correct me if I don't remember which team you played on back in the day.
Played for Cleveland Cobras, and then I played for Ohio Premier.
Okay, I thought OP was a part of that. It's been a while. I remember back when we played, like OP and Internationals were like the 2 big boys.
Yeah, Internationals is still there. They have an academy now, so they do really, really well.
And the one that you played for, Nick, I apologize. I don't know if they were around when we were around or what, but that's. It sounds like you guys are going all over the place. I think they're pretty prominent.
AK Cleveland Elite, they're like a team that just built this year. We have a coach from England, Manchester, England. So he came to the United States, lived here, and he recruits players from like different high schools, and then he just built a team together. So.
Yeah, actually, his name's Andy Kilner. He managed professionally over in England.
Oh,
wow.
And he does a really nice job. So he came over here. He started his own club. Before that, Nick played for one of the top clubs around when he played for Challenger Crew Juniors. They were one of the top teams in his age group. But, Andy's a great coach, and Nick decided to play for him this year.
I mean, from when you guys played, how many more teams like this, club teams, are there now? I mean, it seems like there's so many. Even in hockey, there's a lot more club teams, soccer. All those seem to develop into a lot of club teams all over. And same with baseball and some of those sports when you're not playing in high school.
Yeah, when Ed and I were younger, we literally had like 6 club teams. So club was club, but now everybody's got their own club, so it's a little bit watered down. The top players don't get to train together, and honestly, some of the product on the field has suffered because those kids don't get a daily challenge of playing the best players every single day.
Yeah.
So let's talk. I mean, obviously, you're graduating this year. Are you going to continue your soccer career? And if so, where are you going to do that?
Yeah, I'm continuing to play club until the spring, and then I'm not really sure what college I'm going to go to. But my top pick right now is CSU. But yeah, I'm looking to play in college.
It's got to narrow down the list as it gets closer.
Yeah. And are you? I mean, obviously you're going to be a senior, so you gotta kind of be thinking that way too, right, Nick?
Yeah. I also want to play in college. I don't know where I want to go yet. I've been talking to some couple coaches, so I just see where the future holds for me.
And Nick, as the upcoming senior, you guys are, now you're at the, now you're at the top of the ladder. What different? Do you have any sort of a different mindset when you're going into this season, knowing you're a senior now?
I don't have a mindset really. It's the same as the first 3 years. I just play hard and give the best ever when I'm out on the field and try to get better as a team. That's all I ask for.
And from a leadership standpoint, do you feel a little bit more responsibility from that end?
Yeah, I do. I got to take a lot of responsibility for the team. It's like my team now, so.
Absolutely.
Taking over.
Yeah, that's what
Got
it
to
is.
take over, man. Continue what you started this last year here.
We did name Nick captain a few weeks ago. So
Oh,
there you go.
congratulations!
Nice.
There it
Thank
is.
Who are some of the players that who are going to be stepping up for you guys? Who we may not have heard too much about this year?
There's a few. Nick DeMonte Jr. had 6 goals this year as one of our starting forwards. His brother Antonio is an honorable mention all-conference player. He's one of the hearts of our midfield. And then we returned 2 of our starting center backs. 2 of our defenders, and Kyle Wolf and then Nate Boer. Again, so the cupboard's definitely not bare for next year. Excellent.
And you guys, and I know we mentioned. I know you mentioned it at the sports awards last week. Some of the other players gained some other accolades as well for this year, if I'm not mistaken. Would you mind going over those?
I mean, I could give you a big, long laundry list. Obviously Gavin made first team All-Ohio, and both him and Ben made first team All-Greater Akron. Nick made second team All-Greater Akron. All in all, we had 7 players that were all conference. We had 8 players that were all Medina County. So we definitely had a banner year. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, congratulations to all you guys. Just an unbelievable year. We appreciate you guys coming on our show, too.
Absolutely. And going into the next season, I mean, you feeling pretty good about things so far? Or, I know the season just ended, but, knowing that you have Nick coming back and, my buddy DeMonte and some of the other seniors and juniors coming back, I mean, what's your early outlook for next year?
I think again, we got to replace the 4-year starter in goal, which will definitely be a process. But, again, when you return a kid who's already top 5 in points, you're definitely be able to score some goals next year.
Very well. Nick, anything else you guys want to say?
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely,
No
Gavin.
problem. Thank you for having me. It's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
And congratulations on your season, guys. I mean, 3 of us are from Brunswick, and more so for myself as a former soccer player. Though I didn't play at Brunswick, obviously maintain very close ties to the soccer program. So it's a great thing when the soccer team is doing as well as they are, and congratulations to you, Coach, and to you guys as well.
Thank you very much.
These are the 2016 Greater Cleveland Conference Boys Soccer Champions. We have Coach Ben Dotson, goalkeeper Gavin Leindecker, and forward Nick Felician. For Rob Troutman, Josh Jeffrey, and Sean Duffy, I am Ed Dick. This is Sports on Tap. We are part of the NEO Sports Insiders Network. www.neosportsinsiders.com. Catch us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, Mixler. Did I cover everything?
You hit them all.
Absolutely. Well, very well. And you'll make sure you catch us for our next segment. We are live here at Z's Cream and Bean, 2706 Boston Road. Thank you very much. We'll see you on the other side.
You're listening to Sports on Tap, part of the NEO Sports Insiders Network. Want to get involved with Sports on Tap on social media? Go to Twitter and follow Sports on Tap at SOT Podcast, or go to Facebook, facebook.com/SOT Podcast.
For the best coverage of Cavs, Indians, and Browns, check out neosportsinsiders.com. neosportsinsiders.com brings you breaking news, opinions, and video from all things related to your favorite Cleveland sports teams. Like us on Facebook and follow at NEO Sports Insiders on Twitter for live updates from all the games. neosportsinsiders.com, bringing you the best in Northeast Ohio sports coverage.
You're listening to Sports on Tap, part of the NEO Sports Insiders Network. Get involved with Sports on Tap on social media. Follow them on Twitter at SOT Podcast, or go to Facebook. Want to email the show? sportsontap.podcast@gmail.com.
Can't wait for the next Sports on Tap podcast to drop? Then stay connected with us on social media. You can follow us on Twitter at SOT Podcast and like our page at facebook.com/SOT Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to Sports on Tap on YouTube and iTunes, and email us at sportsontappodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget to check out Josh Jeffy's 6-pack of random and our full show archives on neosportsinsiders.com.
You're listening to Sports on Tap, part of the NEO Sports Insiders Network. NEOSportsInsiders.com.